problem that we have is that they're flimsy, not attractive, and hard to transport. Decor is a decorative serving container system that eliminates the use of glass casserole dishes at an affordable price. So what you do is you insert your foil pan into the base, what gives your pan support. You have your snap-on ring that secures in your foil pan. Secures in your foil pan, secures in your foil pan with extended handles, making it easy to transport. You have your snap-in lid that helps maintain temperature, that can be inverted to use as a bowl when serving your favorite dip. So I've got a small video I can show you.
Ready?
Decor eliminates the use of glass casserole dishes at an affordable price. Foil pans are flimsy, not attractive, and hard to transport. Insert the foil pan into the base for support, secure your foil pan with the ring, and snap on the lid. The lid can also be inverted to use as a bowl when serving your favorite dip. And the best part? No peanut necessary. Built with extended handles for easy transportation. So make your dish look festive at your next get-together. You can even leave it as a gift for your host. So we came up with this idea when we were planning our wedding. We knew what dish we wanted to make, we just didn't know how to serve it. And we knew that foil pans, they were very convenient for transporting your food, but they just weren't attractive. And we didn't have enough casserole dishes, matching casserole dishes, and we really didn't want the cleanup. So I went online, couldn't find anything, so I invented it.
So after spending some time with an engineer and a patent attorney, we were able to secure 2 patents.
Yep, we have 2 utility patents. I've got a prototype. This is my prototype, so that's why it's not working together. But it normally does. It's just been used so many times. I am SWAM certified.
Well, why don't you explain a little more too about how, when you go to somebody's house and
Yep.
you take your casserole dish there, you want to leave the party, and what happens?
Yep. How many times do we go to somebody's house and we bring our favorite casserole dish? But the problem is that when you're ready to leave, they're still eating out of it. So this way you can go ahead and you can take out your foil pan, you can leave it on the table, and you can just take your container home with you. Or you can leave it as a gift, is what I always say. And you don't want to leave it for the host, because if you're leaving your casserole dish, you always have the cleanup of it. And this way you don't have to worry about the cleanup, because I know I don't like the cleanup after I have a party. So that's one of our features.
So we live in a busy world, and we find that moms and families, and even dads, we don't have time for the cleanup, but we also want a prettier look than what the full pan offers, and it's easier to transport. So with that being said, full decor is fantastic. So.
Yep, it's great. So this way you don't have, every time you're traveling too, what you do is you have your glass casserole dishes, you have to wrap them up, you're worried about them rattling, they can break. And this way it's made out of plastic, so now you don't have to worry about the heat. It's insulated once you put the lid on. And with it being plastic, it's made out of polypropylene, and which holds in the temperature just a little bit. It's food safe, it's recyclable, it's
dishwasher safe.
Yeah, dishwasher safe. And
so initially we're looking at families having parties and Christmas parties, Halloween parties, kids parties, but then we're going to branch out. And some of the ideas we had was
we're going to scale it down to a half-size full pan. This is the standard 9x13, and we want to make it to half size, and eventually too have different occasion, different season. So how many times do you go to a different party and you want it to look festive? So especially Christmas party. I know that when I go to a Christmas party, I want it to match my theme. And what about footballs? Footballs are great for the tailgaters, and if you're going to you're home gating. You go to so many people's homes where they're having their Super Bowl event, or even just, the weekend football. So now that you can have it, it looks like a football. But, the tailgating is how many people use foil pans when you're tailgating, or even camping, or just going to potluck dinners or church gatherings. We're eventually wanting to branch out into, small caterers on top of the tailgating. I went to an Impex trade show where I won first place in the kitchen category, and I was interviewed by so many people, but it was Shark Tank, it was QVC, and they just absolutely loved it. They wanted to know how many units did I have, but unfortunately I said I just had the prototype, and they were all just disappointed. And they said, you need to come back and see us. So since then I have connected with a couple of people. Wegmans is very interested, but I need to get my sample first to send to them, which is, we're looking right now, we're in the process of manufacturing, but we're doing some scaling at the last minute. Then we're going to get a sample run, and after we get the sample run, then I'll be able to have 200 units, and after that I'll go ahead and order my first batch and be able to send it to some potential customers. But Wegmans is very interested, which is exciting.
So the foundation's built, and it's been a long time coming, but now we've assembled a team, a good team. So with that being said, we're now able to move forward to the manufacturing part. And we're looking right now initially to produce about $3.40, which includes packaging and shipping. And retail would be $9.99, and sell online direct sales would be $19.99. So we're ready, just on the launch pad, and ready to press the button. Good. You say
All right. Questions, judges?
Questions?
Have you considered running like a pre-sale campaign for folks who might want to order, so you can sort of generate that initial revenue before you production?
I think so. When we have
Well, explain how you did a test to market, and we already have a number of people that want to
Right.
purchase, including Wegmans has showed some interest, but we haven't
The-
done any sales in fear of not letting people down. Even the website itself has been, it's on hold. We got it done, we just haven't turned it on, because we don't want to lose customers who go on and it's not ready. So,
I put it on Facebook too, just to kind of get a little bit of a test run. And it was just a generic video that my son had made with the iPad, and I put it on there, and it ended up going out to 2,800 people viewed it. And I started getting all of these messages and back saying, oh my gosh, where can I get one? This is just so great. And I've had people say, I'll end up using more foil pans if I can have a container like this, because it makes it so easy, and it just makes it look festive. It makes it, it's just easy.
So I want to make sure I understand the flow. You want to produce sample packages to give out to retail so that they'll place orders, and then you'll go back and get your molds done and do a big
No, we're
production
gonna
run?
do our molds. That's what the first thing is getting our molds. And once we have our molds ready, we're just gonna have them give us about 200 of them. And then this is where we're gonna start before we make our first order. And this is just to kind of give like friends and family, just to kind of play around with them just a little bit to get the feedback that we want before we make the order. But it'll
that'll be testing and modeling. So as you saw, that was built on a 3D printer, and like you said, it's been used and abused, so it doesn't show as well. So having the working product will give us a better chance when we're visiting potential sales of markets that have a working model. So yes, to answer your question entirely, we a small product first just to make sure everything's good to go, and then a larger scale, hopefully based off of pre-order sales.
And molds are expensive. What's that mold cost?
It's about 48,000.
Correct, 48,000 to build 3 molds, basically.
So would you be worried that if you got the sample run in people's hands that you would make an adjustment to the mold potentially or anything like that?
Well, actually, I'm gonna go we're gonna have it made in Turkey, and I'm actually gonna go to Turkey to make sure everything's in working order. I just like to have the feedback from friends and family, just that if I needed to tweak it just a little bit, then I know it's gonna be perfect. I want it, once I get it out there, I want it to be right.
What's the capital requirement for the first 12 months, just to keep you going with the runway?
We're looking altogether about 140,000, which is going to be
That first run was
The first-
48, and so 68,000.
68,000, right, just to
And
come
then
up with the samples.
First
And then,
order of 20,000 was like another 88.
Right.
So,
so about 140,000.
And are you doing all the business development? You'll be going and be at point, you're gonna run the conversation with Wegmans and, you know, the different grocery chains. Is that the primary, is that what you plan to do, or do you wanna go more direct on your website?
Yes, I would like to be the one. I'm gonna, because I have the relationship already with them, and so yes, I'll be the one that's gonna be talking with Wegmans.
But direct sales will still go on, so.
Oh, yeah, direct sales, you know, I'm gonna be going into a trade show, we're gonna be, you know, it's gonna go on social media, we're gonna put it on Amazon, and, you know, and eventually go into retail stores. But I would like to build a name first, you know, to build my brand, instead of just jumping right into the retailers, so that I can have proven sales that it's gonna work.
But part of our team includes a marketing agent too, that's
Mhm.
assisting in getting that.
Yeah, it's not just us, we've got a team. We've got a manufacturer, we've got project manager, we've got, you know, a CPA, I've got an attorney, I've got, you know, somebody with digital marketing, and so, yeah, so I'm building a pretty good team.
So at $9.99 retail, what do you project your
No, no,
margin to?
I'm sorry, no.
It's-
That's wholesale, so
Oh, wholesale.
if I misspoke, I
Right.
apologize.
Right.
So initially, about $3.40 per piece coming in, and obviously when we
Okay.
purchase more, that comes down to about $2.50 or so it comes down. So, the $9.99 was what was wholesale would be to Wegmans or whatnot, but, retail and direct sale for us was $19.99.
So it's $19.99 for 9 by 13,
Correct.
and then you're gonna do a smaller size.
Correct.
So, we don't have the price for that
Which
yet.
is the
We're
half
gonna
size.
build the brand, and as the needs come, we're gonna.
Is that enough markup for Wegmans? Are they happy with that type of number?
He was, yeah, he was pretty happy. He's like, wow, that's great.
But is that enough for you all? Because once you back out all of your costs for your marketing, your insurance, your leasing of your space, wherever you are, what it costs, what you,
Yes. Well, to this point, we've been self-funded, so we luckily don't have debt that we're having to pay back.
but you're not always going to be so.
You're right about that. So depending on how many we do direct sale versus wholesale and stuff, we were estimating somewhere between 8,000-9,000 until we broke even. So we understand that 2017 is not a productive year. It's going to be the building, so we're hoping 18 is when we start getting into black.
What are the two patents cover? What are the details on this?
The details is how it all works together, how it fits. So the first one I had just to get my prototype. The second one is to you know, make sure it's further the way it's connected together. And I actually have number 3 that's pending, just to further it so that, you know, I can secure it. So that
And
nobody
so
else.
the first one's the model,
Mhm.
and the ring was a big part of that. It snaps in.
Mhm.
And then each one that we've done since is just kind of building a bigger bubble around it.
What are your revenue assumptions? I was looking at your projections. How did you arrive at those projections?
Okay, this is where we have a business manager that could probably help with those answers a little better. Are you allowed to answer?
No.
No?
Nope.
Okay. Well, how do we get to those projections? We have a business manager that helps us do that research and guide it for us.
But I'll also say too that, you know, with this being a $1 billion industry, how many people use foil pans? Everybody does. So, you know, I feel like that's me, of course. I feel like it's gonna sell, and the feedback that I've gotten, I've already know that it's gonna do well, you know? Like I said, when I was on QVC, she was right away was like going, oh my God.
All right, so,